Hello and welcome. We are at... who knows anymore? I think part 5 of the Let's Play for the Divine Speaker extended demo. So far we have been kicked out of our hometown, met a boy in the woods, started a domestic life with the boy in the woods. Got our hut burnt down. Became friends with a cranky redhead. Travelled to a city that shouldn't exist. Met a green gremlin. Now we're off to find the next city. So let's keep going. Outside, it was cooling down as the sun started to set over the horizon. Birds jumped from branch to branch of nearby trees and sung a beautiful song. Reminds me of that strange guy last night and his pet bird. We headed north and eventually came across the village stables. They were filled with dozens of vehicles, from wagons and carts to full-blown carriages. One in particular caught my eye. Black with gold trim and polished to perfection. Unfortunately, the driver was nowhere to be seen. Not that someone with obvious riches would let 3 dirty guys sit in the back. In fact, not many of the drivers were here at all. Most sat empty, the stables being nearly devoid of life.
Is there anyone around? Look.
Fawn pointed to a pile of wooden boxes, where a large man sat and picked at his fingernails.
I'll go.
No.
Leos approached the man quietly and tapped him on the shoulder.
We're looking for someone that'll give us a ride to Oxybor. You know anyone?
He remained silent and staring into Leos' eyes, before grunting and pointing his chin in the other direction. When I turned to look, I couldn't help but be surprised. Sitting in the driver's seat of a cart was a woman with big, messy hair and staring into the distance. I know Leos told me to stay quiet, but...
Hello, miss?
She cast her large eyes down at me.
Yes?
My friends and I, we're looking for transport to Oxybor, but we don't know the way. Is this your wagon?
Her wagon was average looking, wooden, and a little rough around the edges, but sturdy. It could easily hold us all in the back.
To Oxybor?
She looked us up and down before her eyes finally settled on me.
Yes, this is my wagon. Why are you going there?
We're looking for someone. A friend.
I see.
Are you going to Oxybor?
Me?
Yes?
I am.
She's very scattered. She's almost not in the conversation at all. This is going nowhere pretty fast.
Miss, would you let us come with you?
Didn't I already say yes?
No, you didn't. Is this girl some kind of...
Thank you. When do you leave?
I leave now.
Maybe she's just a little shy.
Do we just, get on the back?
Please.
We climbed in the back after her.
How long does it take to get to Oxybor, miss?
She spoke with her back turned to us, moving barrels and crates to make room for us. It's actually quite spacious in here.
Half a day. We should be there by sunup tomorrow.
I see. We can't thank you enough, really.
Well, I was on my way back anyway.
Why don't we introduce ourselves?
Good idea. My name's Raen.
You can call me Leos, if you must.
If you must.
I'm fine.
Her eyes stuck on Fawn for a moment before she opened her mouth.
My name is Lilas. Tell me, where are you from?
Me? I live by myself. I mean...
He lives alone, not far from here.
Really? Your face reminds me of a customer of mine. Have you ever been to Cliffspire?
No, I mean...
Well, that was suspicious. I think we found out where Fawn comes from. Huh? That's a weird reaction. He was fumbling over his words and staring at the ground. That itself isn't much different from usual, but...
You must have the wrong guy. He's Aurelian, through and through.
You said the name Raen. Leo's head dropped into his palm. Sorry, Leos. Had to help him somehow.
I see. Well, no matter. Tell me more of the friend you're looking for.
By now, the sky was slowly darkening and stars were beginning to peek out from above.
We're looking for a man named Caspian. He traveled through these parts many years ago.
Caspian. I'm afraid I've never heard of him. Oxibor is a small place, so I'm sure you'll find out something.
You said you sell stuff, right?
Fawn looked towards Lilas.
So, what exactly do you sell?
I sell happiness to every corner, and hopefully, one day, beyond.
Look at her reaction. Her outfit is so pretty. I love her outfit and her hair. Her hair is gorgeous. That's a strange description. Happiness? That could be anything. Happiness. And it's made out of glass.
I see.
It's about time we leave then.
A glass full of happiness. She climbed into the driver's seat and took the reins between her slender fingers. She pet the single horse lightly, and it neighed at her touch. With only a slight movement, the horse began pulling the cart slowly through the streets. Lanterns inside the houses of Stagwich were slowly coming to life. Nothing beats the atmosphere of a town at night. What's that sound?
There we go.
Oh no. Everything shook as someone catapulted into the back of the wagon. Ugh. Oh god. Oh, gremlin, my gremlin. I don't know if I said earlier, I can't remember because I was too busy just squealing at his very existence. But this green-haired gremlin right here is actually a character I designed as part of their Kickstarter last year as a backer character. And I love him a lot, and I have been dying for the past year waiting to see him in game. Yo! Waiting to see him in game. Yo! I have to listen to that again.
Yo!
And his voice actor is just so perfect for him. I couldn't think of a better person to voice him.
Another friend?
Nope.
Nope.
We're all the best of friends. Feel free to keep going.
As you wish.
He's so annoying.
For fuck's sake, what is it now? Did you not harass us enough yesterday?
Hey, I'm just looking for a ride to Oxibor. Surely you have enough room for one more.
You're going to Oxibor too? What for?
Oh, you know, sightseeing. We're travelers. You've never heard of the Oxibor glass blowers?
What a pairing. A crazy man and his bird traveling the world together. Well, you keeping it around in case you get hungry?
Aw.
You know me so well already. It's making me blush.
Carry around a little snack. Oh, he's so angry. The bird Varus hopped from his head to his shoulder, tweeting along the way.
Do I seriously have to sit in an enclosed space with him until tomorrow? God, I think I'd rather walk.
More room for me, then.
It's fine, Leos.
I elbowed him lightly and whispered into his ear.
It's just one night.
We didn't get much of a chance to talk last night anyway. This is a great opportunity to get to know each other.
Then you can start with introducing yourself properly.
Didn't you hear? I go by Fox now.
He's the worst. I hate him so much. The man's eyes went to his shoulder, where his bird pecked him lightly. Quickly, he looked back to me.
Actually, I was a little curious. A little birdie told me just the other day Stagwitch was filled with smoke. Apparently there was a fire in the nearby forest. Did you guys see that?
The fire? You could see it from here?
No, but he knows now.
Oh? Were you closer to it?
Yeah,
Leo's wrapped his arm around me, covering my mouth.
I'm sure a decent group like yourselves wouldn't have had anything to do with it, right?
Of course not.
He smirked at us. Look, he's got a snaggletooth. Look at that snaggletooth. He's got real fangs. Oh, he's so perfect.
Of course not. You just happened to arrive the next day, right?
How did you...
I'm glad we managed to hear the walking kaleidoscope sing, at least. Oh, what a voice. The long trip out to Stagwitch was worth it for that alone.
Walking kaleidoscope. Look at him, he's just so colourful. I like all the things that he's got wrapped around his belt, the little bottle and the feathers, and his outfit is so interesting. He would be so much fun to cosplay. The bird pecked at him again, and the man glanced back towards him. Is that how it shows affection? Maybe it wants to be pet. Noticing my glance, the green-haired man gently ran a single fingertip over the bird's head and it stopped.
You know, I also heard some weird rumors going around town. Someone with a curse appearing in the middle of the night. I doubt that the knowledge level of anyone in Stagwitch is very high, though. They're simple people. Anything slightly strange, they'll call it a curse or a demon.
He eyed me up closely.
A fire in the middle of a forest and someone with a curse appearing in the small town of Stagwitch. I wonder, could these two things be connected?
I don't know why you're asking me. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just thinking out loud.
This guy puts me on edge. He acts friendly, but it's like there's something else he's after too. It's a little suspicious.
Come on, I'm a friend. No need to look so tense. I'm an open book. Ask me any questions you want. There's nothing I don't know.
That in itself is kind of suspicious.
Nothing? How full of yourself can you get?
I love the interaction between Fox and Leos. He's designed to make him angry. Funny coming from him. Anyway, this could be a good opportunity. What? What do you know about Oxabor? How did you and Varys meet? Have you ever been in love? Who asks a random stranger who's been annoying them for a day, have they ever been in love? I don't know if you can pick only one or all of them, but just look at how pretty the menu is. The GUI design is just so beautiful. Let's ask about Oxabor.
Have you been to Oxabor before?
Just the once.
What do you know about it?
For the last 100 years or so, it's mostly been run by the Morano family. They aren't technically in charge, but they control the glass industry. Everyone else is basically eating out of their hands.
The glass industry?
Nico's brought that up too.
When the Moranos arrived, Oxabor glass was so rare that only the rich could afford it. They capitalized on it hard and brought glass to the general populace. They bought terrain and heavy-duty equipment and financed the other companies that already existed. They basically bought the place out. Instead of using sand from Stagwitch and other nearby beaches, they started importing from the countries beyond the sea. Apparently the sand is endless there, but I've never seen it myself to confirm that. It's a little strange. When they arrived, they were already drowning in riches. Where did they come from?
You're very knowledgeable, sir.
That was actually a really detailed answer. I didn't expect him to be so serious.
They export all over Vitus now, all the way to Sidkayam. I answered your question, so now it's my turn. A group like yourselves of such varied personalities. How did you meet?
I looked between Fawn and Leos. How did we meet?
So...
Think quick.
I met Fawn after I started my journey to Stagwitch. One thing led to another, and he decided to join. Right?
Right.
And Red?
Leos? He,
I'm just along to protect them. Pay me enough and I'll do anything.
Anything.
Oh, really? I'll keep that in mind.
Anything. Oh, you can choose more than one. Alright then, you asked how they met. How did you meet?
Actually, I was a little curious myself. Your bird was named Varus, right? Where did you find him?
Find him? He's the one that found me. Let's be honest, no one could resist my charms. I don't even have to open my mouth to... Ow! Okay.
The bird pecked him on the neck, making him jump.
All right. I'm partial to a little music myself and play a few instruments. I'd play a few times a week outside, and I noticed a little bluebird would come and listen. One thing led to another, and Varus decided to come with me. Seduced by my music instead of my charm.
Seduced?
Seduced.
Do wild animals usually...
That's not too different to Fawn, really. Keeping wild animals.
I wanted to ask, but...
His eyes lit up again.
Can you talk to animals?
Don't be stupid.
In a way, sure.
Not another one.
Varus is communicating with him for sure, though. The little pecks on the table from the inn. He'll chew on his ear or bite him on the neck. That's communicating.
Since you guys asked me 2 questions, it's only fair that I ask another, right? Then my question is, have any of you ever seen a demon?
What?
A demon. You haven't then, Red?
I have a name.
Leos?
You know what? It's actually worse hearing you say my name.
What's your answer?
I never heard of him.
That leaves 1.
Me?
Fawn's hands balled into fists in his lap.
I don't think I mean...
Oh, this is interesting. The quietest one, the least likely one, knows something?
No, I just... Once, I think I saw some kind of demon. Are demons really evil?
That's a decision you've got to make for yourself.
Oh, fucking please.
Oh, Leo's reactions are the best. Now we ask the weird question. Have you ever been in love? To the random man who's just annoying you. Thinking on the new things I've learnt lately, there is something I'm curious about.
Have you ever been in love?
What?
Appropriate reaction.
This isn't really the time to...
Have I ever been in love? Who asks that?
Man who knows everything, suddenly stumped.
Of all the questions you could ask someone like me, that's what you want to know?
I shrugged at him.
Sorry. I thought you said you'd answer my questions. Was I wrong?
I messed around with a few guys when I was younger. Was I in love? Sure. At the time, it felt like it.
It felt like it?
You tend to get consumed by the other person at the time, but looking back, it was probably just lust or not wanting to be alone. Love's a little deeper than that.
Really? Can you explain it to me?
He raised an eyebrow at my question, but continued talking anyway.
Ah, jeez, why am I giving out relationship advice to a kid? People often describe love as some happy feeling you get in your chest when you get along perfectly with your partner. It's more than that. It's the choice to stick by them through difficult times, through sickness, disagreements, and all the stupid things that either of you do. That's what makes your relationship stronger. Sometimes it has to be hard and hurt a little. It's all a part of the experience. It's exposing yourself and putting your complete trust in another person. This goes both ways, too. If only one person is putting in the effort, then is that really love anymore?
Sounds difficult.
What about you, then? I'll be honest, this is a little weird to be chatting about so casually, but, you haven't ever been in love?
His eyes hover on Fawn for a second, before moving to Leos.
You have a few handsome bachelors right here.
I, still don't really know what it feels like. Leos?
Sounds like a waste of time.
One little birdie is staying quiet.
I haven't.
Sometimes being honest with yourself is the hardest part.
He's not buying it, Fawn. Not at all. Stagwitch was long gone now. When I looked out on the landscape, it was filled with fields and farms. With the occasional cottage or ranch, it was peaceful, watching the world go by from a gently rocking wagon. Well, it would have been peaceful, but there were too many noisy people in such a small space for it to be quiet.
I have a question.
A wide smile appeared over his face as he stretched out casually.
What were your judgments?
Oh, what?
What?
You know, your judgments. What do the gods have to say about you three?
I looked at Leo's, but his eyes looked as panicked as mine.
We,
Judgments? What's that?
Fawn looked at the green-haired man with a straight face.
Stop babbling nonsense.
Fair enough. Forget I asked. Well, we've got a long journey ahead of us. Best I get some beauty
What
sleep.
do you know?
I don't think sleep will help with that.
You should give it a try, too.
With a laugh, he leant back enough for Varys to hop onto his chest, away from the wind.
Feel free to sleep for the rest of the trip if you want.
we couldn't. Aren't you tired too?
Not that it stopped the green-haired man. His eyes were already shut.
I'm used to it. I travel overnight a few times a week.
Offer to sit in front. Offer for Fawn to sit in front. Offer for Leos to sit in front. Well, we'll go to sleep then. I like how you can nominate one of the others to go sit with her. Offer for Fawn to sit in front. Offer for Leos, we'll go to sleep. I guess if we send Fawn up front, we get to just chill with Leos on our own. Sorry, Fawn. Why don't you keep the lady company? Fawn will do it. Maybe Fawn would appreciate some fresh air, since he seemed a little upset earlier.
Hey, Fawn. Are you okay?
Yeah.
He seems a little distant.
Maybe you should get some fresh air. You look a little tense.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could.
Bye! Oh, look how tall Leos is compared to Raen! A little shorty. With a brief glance in Leos' direction, he went out to the front of the wagon to sit with Lilith. I sat awkwardly next to Leos, not sure of where I should sleep.
Will you stop fidgeting like that? Just go to sleep if you're tired.
No need to be grumpy.
And why not? I mean, look at this situation I'm in. Every single day gets worse.
Oh, but he looks so happy. A light snore came from the fox-like man. That was quick.
You should be appreciative. At least we managed to get a ride.
If we didn't pick up the stray, then maybe I'd appreciate it. I don't want to be surrounded by people. Feels wrong.
Wrong? Why?
You don't need to know.
I wonder, could this have something to do with his work? He doesn't talk about it much. I would imagine that an assassin would be trained to be alone completely. I'll admit, when we first met, I had no interest in getting to know him, but now I've seen past the snark, the attitude, and his coldness. There's something more to him. I don't know, those are the things I find the most interesting. He's just so much fun. Whatever happened was in the past. It's a part of you. You know, in the moonlight. Okay. That option sounds interesting. I feel like whatever happened, it was in the past, is gonna get with a, no, it's not. It's a part of you. He's gonna tell him to mind his own business. What is, you know, in the moonlight? Let's pick it.
You know, Leos, in the moonlight, your hair almost looks like it's glowing.
Aww,
It's
pretty hair. He does have beautiful hair.
Sorry. Was that too much?
No, just... Where did that even come from?
Oh, he sounds so shy and happy and...
Wait, are you embarrassed right now?
Instantly, his face grew 3 more shades of red. Maybe it's my turn to tease him a little bit. He always does it to Fawn and I.
No. Why would I be embarrassed?
What? Who knew Leos could make a face like that? I wondered what would happen if I...
It's always so silky and shiny as well.
Is he touching his hair?
And the length. I don't know how you keep it so nice.
I reached out and took a strand of it between my fingers.
It's so soft, too.
Wow! He is fondling his hair. Aw.
Really? How do you keep it so nice?
What's with that tone of voice? He doesn't realize how much he's flirting right now because he's a dumb boy, but wow, he is flirting hard. Even the tips of his hair, even the tips of his ears were tinted red.
Mine isn't nearly as soft. See?
I grabbed his arm and placed it on top of my head. The weight felt nice.
See?
It's strange that something could have a calming effect and also make your heart beat faster.
Yours is soft too.
Oh, this is awkward.
We should get some rest.
Retreat! I think that's all the teasing he can take for one day. Any more and he might explode. But it was nice to see that confused look on his face for once. I feel like that was just a play for head pats, really.
Oh, yeah.
I let go of his hair and shuffled back as Leos's hand fell away from my head. Leaning back, I closed my eyes to get some rest. I could still feel his eyes on me. After what felt like ages, I heard him sigh and shuffle around, getting comfortable.
What a day. Time to clean up and go home, I reckon.
Meanwhile, Mr. Green-haired gremlin, definitely not asleep and is dying inside about this awkward display going on in front of him.
Hello? What?
Followed.
Who is that?
Help us.
Oh,
Freedom. Watching.
freedom watching? Is that like bird watching?
Wake up. Hey, Raen.
Oi! Wake up!
Oi!
I'm awake. I'm awake.
It took you long enough. Were you having a nice dream?
Where are we?
Oxybor? If you'd woken up any of the other 100 times we tried to wake you, you would have known that already.
Sorry.
Sassy.
That annoying asshole is already gone. Left before any of us woke up.
Do you still have your money on you? Should probably check your pockets. I poked my head out of the wagon. So, this is Oxybor. Very different looking to Stagwitch. The buildings were darker, and it was much quieter.
Oh. Where did Lilas go?
She said she had business to attend to, but we might see her around. Do you guys think something feels slightly off here?
Yeah, it's quiet. Maybe a little too quiet.
Maybe everyone's still asleep?
Maybe. Not everyone's like you, though.
Says the man who's terrible with mornings. I hopped out of the wagon and had a proper look around the place we found ourselves in. We were left in a wide, dark street, completely devoid of life. A dry gust of wind rattling windows and fences let out dull creaks. The liveliness of Stagwitch was gone.
Well, I'm sure there are nice people as well. Where do we start? We can't just knock on every door and ask.
Follow me.
How do you know where to go?
I don't. But I'm sure we'll get into less trouble following me instead of you.
Guys, look.
Vaughn nodded his head to the side a little without making it obvious. When I looked back, I could see eyes. Eyes peering out from the windows all around us.
Are they watching us?
Yeah, something's definitely going on here. On this way.
Leo's pulled us both by the arms and down a side alley, out of sight from those prying eyes.
Why were they watching us like that?
I don't know, but something doesn't smell right.
I couldn't help but think back to from my dream last night. If only I could remember it properly. Followed? Watched? I glanced around in every direction, but no one was there. It still felt like eyes were on me.
You don't think anyone's following us, do you?
I don't know. It's not impossible. For now, let's travel down the back streets.
I'm sure we'll run into someone friendly eventually. Right?
Don't jinx us like that, okay?
You boys look like you're in need of some new equipment.
Oh, that's creepy.
Huh?
What was that about? At the intersection between two pathways, a lady with long black hair called out to us. Her clothes were tight, fitting, and shiny.
Equipment?
Yeah, I see that whip you have there. I can tell we'll have some things you're interested in.
You have things we could use? Really?
Of course. Our store specializes in not only couple toys, but toys for individual use too.
Guys?
Toys! Interest in a whip and toys.
A two-person use. Never seen such a thing.
3-person too, if that's what you're into.
3-person use toys.
Why don't you come inside and have a look?
Oh god, this is so unsettling.
Rain,
Well, come on. Could be useful to stock up a little.
but
Don't worry, Fawn. I'm sure Leos knows what he's talking about.
no, please, this is...
Follow me.
Despite Fawn's best efforts to turn us around, we followed the lady down the alleyway and into an unmarked doorway. Stairs led directly down to some kind of basement.
Welcome to our love retreat.
Look at this background! Look at this background! Oh my god. I can't censor this for YouTube.
Oh my god.
The walls were lined with all kinds of things I'd never seen before. Ropes, chains, some strange shaped sculptures? Leos was instantly drawn to a display. Fawn's face flared and he buried himself in his hands.
These are perfect.
So, you're into whips and ropes, eh?
Of course. Well, they might not be my weapons of choice, but they're invaluable. The selection at home wasn't nearly this big.
Especially if you want to keep your prey from getting away, no?
Whips. They're lightweight, but well made.
For only the best of pleasure.
Pleasure? Not that Leos is interested. I left Leos to browse the whips and wandered around the shop. Towards the back were glass bottles filled with some kind of a liquid, and little necklaces and bracelets.
Oh, something's wrong with this jewelry. There's no way to do it up. It's just one long line of beads.
Put those down! Oh my god, I can't believe we're in here.
What's wrong? At least we finally met some friendly people.
You don't understand. This is a
Well, I didn't think we'd be meeting again so soon. Welcome.
Oh, Lilas! This is your store? What an amazing coincidence. You have some interesting stuff in here.
Thank you. I see Leos has found the whips. I noticed he was carrying one when we first met. Do you use them together then?
Together? I guess so. Sometimes he uses it while we're together.
Oh my god, those dogs.
But mostly he uses little knives. They're kind of scary, but thrilling.
That does sound thrilling. Make sure he takes enough care of you too. I'm sure you'll both find many things that interest you here.
This is the store you were talking about. The job you love so much. I should have guessed when you said you sold happiness.
Nothing could beat a career bringing pleasure to others. I can spread happiness far and wide, all from my wagon.
Leos returned with an armful of items.
What have you got there?
I know, a little bit of everything. Most of them seem sturdy, but I'm not sure why she'd try and sell me on the softness. Why would I be careful with anyone I'm tying up?
Oh, precious boys. But how does Fawn know so much? How... He said he was 20, but how long has he been in the forest for? And surely Fawn as a little boy, before he got into the forest, hasn't been into sex shops. How do you know what you know, Fawn? What are you up to?
You don't want to have a look around?
No. This stuff, it's sex. You know.
Well, I might see if I can find anything useful. We're lucky to have some money on us this time.
With Fawn in tow, I walked around the store. A lot of the items were made of glass.
What are these? Handcuffs? Seems like something Leos would like. And this? Some kind of soft ring. It's too big for my finger.
Please, I'm begging you.
The shape of this is kind of weird. What are these all used for?
I've been trying to tell you. You use these to, you know, pleasure others. Or yourself.
Pleasure?
We walked back towards Leo's, carrying a few items. I pointed at the whip he was holding.
Leos, does that bring you pleasure?
Fawn is just dying.
These? I wouldn't buy them if they didn't.
Huh, I see. I guess you were right, Fawn.
That's not what I give up. You're killing me.
Should we
You're
buy
not
these
actually
then?
explaining it to him though, you're just freaking out about it and he doesn't know what you're talking about, baby. Fawn, he does not understand. He doesn't know about any of this stuff. Leo's handed over his assortment of items to Lilas, who slowly counted them all. Some of the things he picked looked a little strange, but I trust his decision.
That comes out at 350 plumes.
350?
He dug through the patch of coins Nikos gave us last night. I'm positive there's not enough in there to cover this.
We might need to put a few things.
You can put those on my tab.
Who are.
Look at him!
Wait. We've met before.
Look at him. He's so perfect.
You could never forget such a cute face.
Never. Everything about his outfit is perfect. Look at
We
him.
bumped into each other yesterday. In Stagwitch?
And here we are, meeting again. This must be fate. Have I finally met my Prince Charming? Are you here to sweep me off my feet and carry me into the sunset?
He's just got a handful of money. But these three dogs down in the corner here with their arm full of stuff. Can't see Fawn, but Fawn, he's just traumatized. Their armfuls of stuff.
Anyway, you can put this all on my tab. You know I'm good for it.
Why would you do that?
Just imagining all the things you could do with this stuff. How could I not help you guys out? I just hope you plan on inviting me. But where are my manners? You can call me Sign.
Sign! You beautiful little boy. Oh, he's
My name's Raen.
He's so
and
good.
this
I love
is
him so
Fawn and
much.
Leos.
Oh, it's been so long. So long of being teased with Sign for art and some gameplay videos, and he's finally free. Sign is out of his cage. Coming out of my cage and I'll be doing just fine.
Not only one, but 3 handsome men? This must be my lucky day! So, what do we have here? You must be a tall, naughty, bad boy. And this one is the shy but horny type. And you... How would you describe yourself?
Me? Consistent?
What a strange response. Out of all the things you could have gone with. Still, consistency is important. Don't you hate when they change it up when the rhythm was just right before? Keep going with what works. You're interesting. I like you.
Oh, God, I love him so much.
Thank you?
It's nice to see some new faces here.
Ah.
What drew you in? You must have heard of the durability of Oxyber glass, right?
Oh, I heard a little.
I mean, why else would you come all the way out here, right? They make the best toys anywhere. When a guy leaves feeling all good about himself after a bad performance, that's where these come in useful. These guys have one job, and they can't even get that right.
What is he blathering on about?
I have no clue.
All right, I'll add it to your tab, but only because you're such a loyal customer, Sign.
You know I wouldn't shop anywhere else. These babies last a lifetime.
Babies? What do you mean?
These... I've been trying to tell you. They're all sex toys.
Sex toys?
What? You didn't know? How could you accidentally stumble into an adult shop and not realize after looking around? You know, if you're curious, I'd be happy to show you how they work. What? You didn't know? You
Oops.
know, if you're curious,
Damn it.
I'd be happy to show you how they work.
Oh,
No.
oh no.
I mean,
Oh no, am I gonna have to raise the classification of this video?
I can explain.
Go on then, mouse boy.
Oh, he's interested.
You use them to
To
make babies.
what? No. What?
Well, I don't know about you, but I learn better when I'm shown rather than told.
This fine little devil horns.
I'm sure Rain's the same. What do you say?
It might be a good learning experience, or I think this might be a little dangerous. I think this might be a little bit dangerous for my channel, but I think it'll be a good learning experience for Rain.
Well, I'm always up for learning something new.
No, wait, stop. He doesn't know.
That's why I said I'm happy to teach him. Rain's up for it. Why
Gremlin
don't you guys sit
number
back
2.
and watch? Maybe you'll all learn something new today.
This isn't happening.
Don't worry, Fawn. I'm sure it'll be quick.
Quick? You should know I like to take things nice and slow. Especially with boys like you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead then.
Gladly. I assume it's okay for me to use the back room?
Of course it is. Though, do make sure to clean up after yourself.
Oh, I will. Thanks. Follow me.
Sign leads us to a small door towards the back of the store. It was unmarked and worn. Looks like it could be a storeroom or something similar. Both Fawn and Leos trailed behind us as we walked. Fawn looked reluctant to go any further, whilst Leos appeared to be intrigued. Why is Fawn so against it? Maybe following a strange man to a secluded room wasn't the smartest idea, in which case it should be Leos who's upset. Instead, he's intrigued. Excited even. I'm sure it's fine. If anything goes wrong, Leos will be there.
All right. In you go.
Sign pulled the handle and held it open as we shuffled inside.
Thanks.
The pleasure's all mine.
Fawn sucked in a deep breath as he looked around the room Sign let us into. Does Lilas live here? There's a giant bed in the center of the room.
Ah, even more whips. Light but durable.
Light but durable. It's gonna be Leos' tagline from now on. Leos, light but durable. Separating from us, Leos found a wall filled with whips and ropes hung neatly in lines.
I like your taste. Your name was Leos, right?
Leos was more interested in the whips than what Sign had to say. At least he's enjoying himself.
Well, feel free to join us when you're finished then. Now, on to the main event. Lay down right here, cutie.
Me? Cutie?
Yeah, you. Get that little butt over here.
He motioned to the bed in the middle of the room. It feels a little weird to use someone else's bed, but I suppose it's okay. We did get permission to use the room.
Just give me 2 seconds then.
I took off my shoes and sat on the edge of the bed. Sign went and grabbed a few things from around the room. Watching him dash around from shelf to shelf, it's like it isn't the first time he's done this. He knows where everything is.
Let's do this. A beginner's course in pleasure. Let's take it nice and easy. I'll just need to...
Sign gently pushed me down until my back hit the bed. His hands were small but strong. Wow, the bed's super comfy. Nice. Nice. Leo's finished up with what he was doing and stood over the bed, interested.
In order to get the full experience, I'll just need to pull this up a little bit. Perfect.
He pulled my shirt up towards my chin and exposed my bare chest to everyone. All the way up to my collarbones.
Hold your shirt up. You have beautiful skin. It's so pristine and smooth.
I held my shirt up like he asked and watched him as he grabbed a small bottle and flicked the lid open.
Thank you.
Something about this is kind of embarrassing. Oh yeah, wonder what?
Guys, you should really... You need to...
This might be a little cold at first, but believe me, it'll heat up in no time.
What is it?
Oh, so Mr. Sex Appeal is finally interested as well, is he?
Mr. What? Just tell me what it is.
Well, if you must know, it's a super duper special lotion.
A lotion? Does it feel good?
I wouldn't use it if it didn't. I'll show you.
Sign scooped up a bunch of the lotion and onto his fingertips and smiled at me. He really enjoys teaching people. What a nice guy. Uncomfortable.
Why are we doing this?
I'm not into doing anything against anyone's will, so just to double check, you want this too, right?
Yeah. I'm interested.
Before I could even acknowledge Fawn, Sign rubbed the lotion across my chest.
That's cold.
Sorry.
Oh no! Wow, how low do his pants want to be? Has Sign moved those down as well, or is he always into hip huggers?
You just have to give it a second to work its magic.
Sign rubbed the lotion in circles all over my chest. It took a minute, but gradually the lotion started to warm up.
It feels... nice. Kind of warm.
I told you! This stuff is for...
See? I told you it would. It only gets better from here on out.
Whoa, what's that feeling? Almost immediately after saying that, I felt a slight tingle all over my chest.
Are you feeling it yet?
Feeling it?
I can't get over how low his pants are. Oh, he's almost in the not safe for work territory. Oh, look at Sign's perfect face though. Sign is so perfect. And his outfit is just so cute, and oh, look at his beautiful green eyes and his pretty blonde hair. And his voice actor is incredible. He's got such the perfect voice as well. Everything about Sign is amazing. The tingle was intensifying by the second. It made my body feel warm and strange. This is embarrassing, but having Fawn and Leos watch, what's this feeling? It's a little exciting. Raen likes being
tingles.
watched.
Don't worry. It's supposed to feel like that.
I don't...
A shiver ran through my body, and a strange feeling welled up inside of me. Sign's barely touching, only lightly running his fingertips over my chest, and yet the combination of his teasing, the tingles, and our audience.
Agreeing to do this in front of an audience too. It's even more exciting, right?
Sign ran his fingers through my hair, pulling it back over my face. His other hand inched downwards, painstakingly slow. With every brush against my skin, I felt like I was losing myself further and further to Sign. Suddenly, his hand stopped.
What's wrong? You don't want me to stop? If you want me to keep going, you're going to have to beg.
The warm feeling slowly wore off as he took his hand away from me. Beg? That's a little...
Okay, that's enough. Stop. No more. I can't watch this any longer.
Fawn's voice pulled me back into reality. His face was red, and his hands were clenched into fists at his side. Oh god, it got closer on the... Zoom in on the items of the wall.
I can't watch this any longer. I won't let anyone else... I mean, you can't let him do this here.
Aw, why? We're both enjoying it. Even Leos was enjoying it. Are you sure you're not just jealous? I'm not stealing your boyfriend, am I?
What? No!
Leos? He looked away and refused to make eye contact. Even his face was slightly red.
It's not that. They just... I'll explain it to you another time. Please. I can't deal with this any longer.
Fawn seemed pretty upset. I should just trust in him.
I'm sorry, Fawn.
No. You don't need to be sorry. I just... don't want you to. Let's just go.
Fine. I'm sure we'll get the chance to resume another time. It's up to you to keep training him for me then, Fawn. If you don't use your skills, you lose them after all.
What?
Also, Raen?
Yes?
That lotion should wear off soon, so don't worry about that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
What is that lotion? Some kind of aphrodisiac? Sign exited first, leaving me alone with Leos and Fawn. I rolled my shirt down and quickly put my shoes back on. My chest still tingled a little, but it wasn't nearly as intense as before. But how does this have anything to do with babies?
Let's just head back out for now.
After I sorted my clothes out, we headed back out to the store. Sign was waiting for us there.
Don't be so tense. Nothing happened. Just a little lesson.
I know. It's just... never mind.
Well, now that's over and done with, I'd like to get one of these whips as well. He'll pay.
Seriously?
Another whip? We finished up buying all of Leos's new gear. Lilas packed them up neatly and Leo stored what he could away. I glanced at Lilas. I wonder, would she know anything about what goes on? About what's going on? She does live here after all. She must know something. I cleared my throat before tapping her on the shoulder and talking to her quietly.
We wanted to ask, is it always this, well, quiet here? When we got here, there was no one outside and we could see people watching us from the windows.
Oh, I noticed that too. It's not usually like that here. I thought maybe my dazzling aura might have made people hide away.
No. Something's been wrong here lately.
What do you mean?
I'm not really the best person to talk about it, but something sick is going on. People have been going missing. I don't know. I shouldn't spread rumors.
We're looking for a man that came through here a long time ago.
Caspian, right? You mentioned him before. I'm sorry that I've never heard of him. Try asking around a little. I'm sure you'll find someone who knows something.
Thank you.
I know a lot of people around town. Maybe I could help you out. I was planning on returning home, but I'm sure they can wait.
Really? That would be amazing.
Fawn's face screwed up a little and Leos let out another sigh. What's wrong with getting help? I'm used to Leos being difficult, but Fawn is usually pretty easy to please.
How many troublesome people do you have to get involved with?
Hey, you were fine a moment ago when he was doing something interesting.
You're really inviting another pipsqueak along with us? You and Mouseboy already fill that quota.
Oh, showboys.
Be nice.
It's alright. I know what's happening here. You're just worried I'll take your precious Raen away from you. It's okay to be jealous.
What?
Jealous?
I am not jealous.
I love the way he says that.
Oh,
It's okay to be
really?
jealous.
Sure, if that's what you think.
I don't even like him. I'm only here because I have to be.
You were
Aww.
the one that chose to come. You said I'd get myself killed if you left me alone.
How romantic! A knight in shining armor! Will you come to my side and protect me too? With your bad boy attitude and your rock hard abs? Oh, I'm in love!
That was such a thirsty line. Rock hard abs. He ran his fingertips down Leos's abs and stomach. He didn't look particularly happy about it.
Let's just get out of here.
See you next time, Lilas.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll try to catch you next time I'm close by.
So, a redhead. Tell me, do you go faster?
Definitely, red always goes faster.
What?
It is a known fact that red goes faster. It's just science.
I hope not.
Wait, what does that mean? How can a color go faster?
You know, red goes faster.
Okay.
Anyway,
It's true. Red goes faster is an undisputable fact.
let me get this straight. The tall one's here because he's protecting Raen, but what about you?
Me?
Yeah, why are you here?
I don't know. I'm not very useful, but
Stop right there! Before you say anything, let me just remind you that none of us would be here if not for you. You saved my life more than once. You led us through the forest into safety. You're the kindest person I've ever met. I mean that. So stop putting yourself down.
Ever since last night, Fawn's been a little off. I don't know if it's something Lilas said, but he'd really set off his self-doubt. Better to nip that in the bud.
None of us think you're useless. Not even Leos.
He's right. Neither of us would have made it this far.
Whoa, an actual compliment?
Forget I said it.
thanks, guys. I guess to answer your question, I'm here because I want to be.
Seeing him smile again made my heart feel warm. I want him to always be happy.
You guys, this is that thing.
Huh?
The power of friendship. I could cry. I want to be a part of it. Can't I join too?
Ugh, it's disgusting.
I'm a Leos, alright. identify with his attitude way too much.
I'll work my way into your heart somehow. Anyway, your name was Fawn, right? What a strange name. Are you some kind of animal boy?
I've lived in a forest most of my life.
And before then?
Isn't it about time for you to answer some questions? All you've done is ask. Why are you here?
Me? I'm here for Lilas's shop. I thought that was obvious. The whole
Duh.
trip here, I felt tingly all over with excitement.
I see. Then why were you in Stagwitch yesterday?
Family business. They send me to boring places to keep me in check. I was just stopping over here on the way home.
Family business?
Nothing exciting, I promise.
Oh,
What is
okay
his family
then.
business? What else to ask?
So, what do you do?
What do I do? This and that.
This and that?
Various jobs here and there. Nothing special.
I see.
For someone so good at talking, he's pretty good at talking around questions too. Maybe the family business is politics.
So, you know a lot of people around here?
Yup. I try to visit every few months. I don't mind showing you around and introducing you to people.
Thank you very much. Really, we appreciate it.
Anything for you, cutie?
Vaughn glanced between Sign and I with obvious disapproval.
I wonder if we'll actually be able to find anyone. It sounds easy, but...
Well, who knows? With whatever's going on, it might be a little hard.
Yeah,
And keep your chin up. That sad expression doesn't suit you.
sorry. I just really need to find some answers.
That's actually a really cute line from Leos, though. Don't be sad, it doesn't suit you. Aww.
Answers?
Yeah, you see,
Alright, I'll have to stop this conversation here. Man, you look like you need a break.
a break?
A break from talking before your jaw falls off.
Aww, you're no fun.
Hey, did I ever say I was?
Sorry about him, Sign. He tends to get a little, grouchy sometimes.
Seriously? You're apologizing for me to this guy? He's more annoying than that mouse boy.
What?
Oh, please, Speaker, have mercy on my soul and save me from this horrible fate.
He's so dramatic.
Let me die peacefully in my sleep and have all this be over. I don't know if I can live another day like this.
Would you rather wait somewhere while we ask around?
Leave you with this scrawny kid? No.
Scrawny? This is all muscle. Have you seen yourself? You're a noodle.
Red-headed noodle man.
And that outfit. Are you an exhibitionist?
A noodle? What's wrong with my outfit?
I think we're getting a little off track.
Please stop fighting. This is important.
Fine.
I suppose I can forgive him just this once, since he's so handsome.
Leos?
Oh, Sign is amazing.
Stop pestering me. I'll leave him alone if he leaves me alone.
Good. Let's see if we can find anyone that knows anything.
Ooh, look over there. We can start with them.
I'm still not entirely sure why he's following us around and helping out, but I think we need to accept any help we can get. He pointed ahead where a group of ladies stood huddled close, talking. Seems like a good place to start. As we approached the group, they quickly became quiet. They looked at us warily and tried to avoid eye contact.
Excuse me. I'm sorry for interrupting, but I was just wondering if I could ask you all a question? Sorry. I don't mean to intrude or anything. I'm looking for someone, and I was just wondering if you've seen or heard of him at all.
Good day, my lovely ladies. Surely you'd be able to answer a few questions for us? We promise not to take up too much of your time.
The woman looked between Sign and I and exchanged a few glances between themselves.
Come on, you two. Stop acting so suspicious. We can answer some questions, but no guarantees we'll know the answers.
There's strange things happening here. Is it safe to be speaking so openly to strangers?
Indeed.
Who are you boys searching for then?
I'm looking for a man who goes by Caspian. Or Cass?
I've never heard of anyone here with that name.
Neither.
I'm sorry. I wish you luck in your search.
That's a really cute accent.
But I ask you, be careful. I hope you can find who you're looking for.
Thanks for the help.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate the help.
Goodbye.
Damn.
He came through here so many years ago. Will we find anyone who still remembers him?
We've only asked a couple of people, so don't be upset.
You're right. I just can't help but feel disappointed.
Maybe we should spread out. We'll find out more information. In groups of 2, just in case we get lost.
Oh, just in case you get lost.
And of course, Raen should come with me.
What? No, I don't think so.
Huh? And why not?
What do you mean, why not? That's obvious. Because...
See? You don't have a reason.
Maybe Raen could just choose for himself?
Isn't it obvious that I have to go with him?
Why? What reason do you have? To keep him safe? Are you his bodyguard or something?
No, I don't care. Fine, do whatever you want.
I don't care.
If you want to run off with this idiot, be my guest.
Look at him. And this will be the end of this episode. I have no idea how much longer we've got to go. Can't remember from the Patreon beta. So when we next return, we will pick a boy to investigate the town with. I will see you then.